Mohammed, welcome to the Commerce Talks podcast, episode number 2. At day number 2 at the Seamless conference. We are talking about global healthcare company, a provider in the beauty and pharma market, I would say. Before we dive into the business, maybe tell us, why are you here at the Seamless conference?
First of all, thank you very much for this opportunity to be talking in this podcast, as you mentioned, session number 2. Why I am in Seamless. Seamless is a very important event for the business and for the business community in general. So this is my second time I attend Seamless. Last year I was just a visitor. This year I participated in a panel in the first day about alleviating brand and businesses in Saudi Arabia.
So, and tell us a bit more about global healthcare company, about the markets you're serving.
Good. GHC is a holding company which owns retail and distribution interests. So we founded a Saudi brand known as Whites. Whites is the first ever beauty. I remember when we established the business back in 2008, we started talking to the distributor about having a makeup in the pharmacy. And they said, it's a pharmacy. You're saying it's a pharmacy and you want makeup. It doesn't make sense. We said, yes, in Saudi Arabia at that point of time. Yes, it doesn't make sense. But this is the global pharmacy. They offer pharmacy, they offer OTC, they offer beauty products, they offer personal care. They said, no, we cannot. We said, is there any system government issues? They said, no, but that's the rule. So we spoke with a couple of companies back then, Revlon in the United States and L'Oreal in Paris, to get the permission and the license from the distributor to sell Maybelline and Revlon. So we succeeded. It took us about 6 months, and then we were the first pharmacy ever in Saudi Arabia listed beauty brands and makeup. So,
but this was then under the retail chain name Whites when you started? Oh, that was Whites. Okay.
Whites. Mm-hmm. So that was what we founded as a Saudi brand. Back then, we were the disruptor of the market. Today, every pharmacy in Saudi Arabia, since 2000, I think 12, after 4 years of our existence, they started selling makeup. And if you go to any normal pharmacy in Saudi Arabia, you would see between 4 to 8. Some of them, they have 14 brands of makeup and skincare. So we have disrupted the market back then in 2008. We were the first to sell the makeup, the first to sell even the skincare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how big are you today? Like in terms of how many stores, how many people working revenue wise?
Back to Whites as a brand, we have nearly 120 stores today. And we do have one platform as an e-commerce, and we have a digital touch points. It's a type of vending machine, but it's a very interactive and engaging kind of a spot. You find it in the airports, you find it in the colleges, particularly the female colleges, and some of the busiest working spaces in Riyadh.
Okay, let's stick for a moment with the beauty side, because if I were talking, or I'm talking to my friends and network, obviously in Europe about Saudi Arabia, they have like still the picture from like, I don't know, 2005, where there's no women on the street, or the women that are on the street do have like their burqa dress. So then the question would be, that cannot be a makeup market. So because they don't show themselves to the public, and therefore it must be a small market nobody wants to invest in. Can you give us some insights, or can you help them to understand how it's today and how it was like in 2012? Because really opening up began like, I don't know, 2019, I think 2018.
You're right.
But you started your chain already like
2008.
2008, which is like more than like 10 years before that.
Yes.
And then you say, even then there was a market for this product that was underserved already. Also, there were not too much female to see on the streets?
Good. That's a good question. The makeup historically is selling in this country from day one. Okay. And I wouldn't mention what was the day one. But in the market, the makeup and the skincare and the hair care, they used to sell a lot from a sector or a channel known as the perfumery. So we used to have a traditional shops selling perfumes, makeup, cosmetics, skincare, hair care. And there used to be a kind of organized stores known as Gazaz back then. Gazaz is one of the oldest houses in Saudi Arabia. So this was, I would say, up to 2008. In 2008, as a pharmacy, we thought of adding the skincare, the hair care, and the makeup in our assortment. And I told you previously about how we have plugged in this categories within the pharmacy space. Now, the female in Saudi Arabia, they wear the traditional abaya and the burqa or the hijab in general. But it does not mean that they don't wear a makeup or perfumes. They do. When they are within their female gatherings, if there is a marriage, if there is any social events or gathering, they wear perfumes. They wear the latest makeup back then. Now, 2000, with the beginning of the 2000s, the covering of the face slightly became adopted in the society. It started from cities like maybe Jeddah, maybe like Dammam, and then it has gone inside to the central provinces such as Riyadh, Qasim, and the rest of the areas. So we started seeing in the beginning of the 2000s a lot of Saudi or local females open their faces. Back then, even the expatriates, whether Arab expatriates or Western expatriates, they're not obliged or forced to cover their face. Yes, to cover their hair or put hijab on the top of their heads like a scarf. Yes, that was a mandatory or a compulsory. We started seeing a lot of hijab or opening the face 2005, 2008, and with 2017-18, when that's the disruptive happens in the empowerment of a female when they started driving the cars themselves. So we've set up the driving schools, and then the license has been granted to the females. I'm not sure. Okay, that was 10th of June, I think, 2018. If I remember correctly, 10th of June, 2018. So back then, the female, they started driving. They have this empowerment to drive freely. And also, during 2012, I would say, we started seeing a lot of females working in the private and public sectors. Today, some of the companies, they have 25-35% of their workforce are female. Even they could be reaching to, in some of the industries, to 50%, and they cross that, especially in the boutiques and beauty industry. Mm. So that, I would say, in a nutshell, what I have described about the women and the makeup industry in the past and at the present.
We had here in the podcast Ronnie Fröhlich, the founder of Golden Scent, who is like in the fragrance business, in the perfume business, and he said that the average spend per capita, so per woman here in the region, is five times higher on perfumes than it is in the rest of Europe. So it's a big market. Is it the same in the makeup industry, or is it rather a match? Would like a woman in Europe spend more or less the same amount on makeup as it is here in Saudi Arabia?
I think in Saudi they tend to spend a lot because but maybe we don't spend across all the categories of makeup. Now, if I go and talk about the makeup, face, eye, they take the major share. The number one selling category in Saudi Arabia is anything related to the eye. So the eyelashes, the mascara, the highlighters of the eyes. These what really sells a lot. Then comes the lips. Then comes the rest of the face makeup.
Okay, so it could be the case that the spending amount is close to what females in the rest of the world are spending on makeup.
I don't have a latest number of what is the women spend in the West, but I can talk about Saudi Arabia. They are between 7,000 a year up to 14,000 a year just on makeup.
Which is in dollars, $3,000.
Yeah, I would say in average, like $3,000 is.
I think that's even above the European spend. I will check it. I will figure it out. I will ask Tina Müller, the former CEO of Douglas, what is that average spend. But I think it's like it's above the spend in Germany. But before we go into like the retail channels for makeup, maybe let's spend some minutes on the pharmaceutical industry. So how does it work here? So people, I guess, do have like doctor's appointment, and they're buying then the pharma products from a pharmacy. Is it the same like in the rest of the world? How it's working here, distributing pharmacy, OTC, and RX products?
Okay. It started with consultation with the pharmacist. So the pharmacist is a very trustworthy opinion for the community.
So it, in some cases, would even replace a doctor. You would go to your pharmacist if you have
I'd go to the pharmacist and tell him about the skin type, and he might be able to even diagnose and says this is an oily skin, or it's a dry skin, or it's a combined skin. But what we have seen in the past 10 years, the emerging clinics, the dermatologist is arising in this country. So a lot of female, particularly clienteles, they go to those clinics frequently, maybe once in a month, and some of them, if they are late, they go once in a quarter. So they visit the doctor between, I would say, 3-4 times to even, it goes up to 12 times. So we used to see people visiting those clinics in the past 10 years, like 40 plus. Today we see even in the 20s. They go in the middle of 20s, they go and meet those dermatologists in order to take preventions and, take care of the skin, take care of the hair itself. So today, majority goes to a doctor and take a professional consultation. Then they go to the pharmacy and take their medications and take their routine, I would say, of the skin and routine of the hair. They take extra care today, female. And also we have seen lots of male also taking care of their skins and their hair as well.
How would you compare your whites retailer brand with European brands today? Would you say it's similar to Douglas? Is it similar to Sephora? Is it something like that?
We are not far from Douglas in Germany, or I would say the Boots in the UK. Because if you come to any whites store, we sell medicine, definitely.
But you also sell like RX medicine. Only pharmacists are allowed to distribute.
Well, we have also the OTC, and we have the supplements, the food supplement and the vitamins. Vitamins, whether for the skin, for the nail, for the hair, and the general, I would say, wellness vitamins. But if you look at a pharmacy in Saudi Arabia, between 50 to 75%, their sales revenue comes from medicine, mother and baby. We are not in whites. We don't even cross 10% of medicine. But it doesn't mean that our revenues are small or tiny. It's actually meaningful and very significant compared to the pharmacies. But the contribution is 10%. The other 90%, it goes 45% to skincare, and around I would say up to 60 skincare and makeup, and the rest is personal care.
And do you sell private label brands? Where it's okay?
We do.
Yeah,
we do.
Is it an important share of the market already?
Very, very important. Very, very important. If I compare, Nahdi is the largest pharmacy. They have nearly 1,000 stores today. Their contribution of Private label is 10%. That's nearly 100 million riyal because their turnover is 10 billion.
And your private label share, how big is it?
It's about 12%.
And it's growing, I guess.
It's very growing.
Wow.
And we develop our private label 100% in Europe. We don't go to the Far East. We don't go to the Middle East.
Why?
We believe the ingredients and the clienteles which we serve, they would love to see made in Netherlands, made in Germany, made in Italy, made in France. That's the kind of clientele we are serving. So
okay.
I can.
So because it creates more trust.
Yes. Okay. And
let me look to a potential customer here. Is this true, Bisan? Would you rather buy made in Germany? Okay.
If you ask
she's nodding. Yeah.
If you ask her today, I will give you a makeup remover wipes made in Middle East.
Yeah.
Okay. Or made in France, and the price is the same, or slightly between 7 to 10%. She would opt.
Okay, I see. Not interesting. Interesting. Okay, let's maybe spend some time on the channels. You said one of your distribution channel is online. So how important is the online channel compared to the 120 stores you're running?
Oh, back to I would say pre-pandemic, we used to have 5% generally, and post-pandemic, during the pandemic and post-pandemic, it has gone to 15 and 17%. So we're talking. On average, a Saudi pharmacy is about 10 to 20. The highest is 20%, and the lowest you wouldn't be less than 10 today.
And are you running into a pricing competition online because your private label share is like below 20%? So if you're listing all the products you're providing in your stores online, then you obviously are running into the risk that people are comparing prices. I'm getting this Maybelline lipstick, whatever, at White's for $10, and if I go to a competitor, I get it like for $8. So do you see this risk or this challenge?
Good. We don't do any kind of promotions in White's. We have never done promotions, and we will never do promotions. Now,
why?
Because the perception of the brand, we give value of money. So my guests, they don't expect us to give them discounts, but we give them, we're a very generous brand. We give them actually gifts. We give them vouchers. We give them free samples to use for new products. We give sometimes, okay, 2+1 in the private label, not quite often. In 2013, in order to compete with the pharmacy channel, we have decided to acquire another chain of pharmacy. And we acquired this chain of pharmacy in 2013, June, known as Kunuz. We have redefined, revamped, and also make a kind of facelift to this channel. Kunuz is our go-to-market value proposition chain. We do aggressive promotions. We follow price index. We have deep cut promotions. We have gifts. We have bundles like buy 3 and you get the fourth one free, buy 6, buy 2+1. So all these kind of bundles, we motivate our guests to buy bundles rather than buying single units. And the perception today in Riyadh, because Kunuz exists just in Riyadh with 75 stores, that it is the lowest pharmacy in Riyadh.
Price-wise?
Price-wise.
Oh, okay. Then no rebates, no discounts are needed in that case.
Now, with 2018, 2019, and post-pandemic, things became very, very difficult for a normal consumer in Saudi Arabia, whether local or expatriates. We had to do a lot of changes, and a new channel erupted in the Saudi market, similar to the discounters in Germany, like the Lidl and the Aldi in the FMCG and the supermarkets industry. We have had a lot of discounters came after 2020 in the supermarket industry, and they have disrupted the market a lot, and they have affected the business of the supermarkets.
But they were focusing on groceries, because we have in Germany or Central Europe, we have this drugstore business, which is very different from all the rest of the world, where DM Rossmann, where we have like focusing on like beauty, healthcare, whatever, very low prices. You get your shower gel, your toilet paper, all the makeup stuff you need. It's like 100% this. Then I haven't found it like in other places in the world yet. But that was a different thing that came here into Saudi.
2019. Like the discounters erupted in the supermarket industry, we have a new channel. We call them discounters. Also, they have existed, same like you mentioned in Germany, like the DM or the Rossmann. So, Makhazan al-Inaya. We call these people discounters or Inaya. They have shaken the market. Historically, the brands from Europe or across the globe, what they do in the pharmacy, they have a suggested sell price. So they tell you this shampoo, this shower gel, this mascara, this eyeliner is fixed price, let's say 50 riyals. You get a discount 35, 45%. So you have to respect that RSP. The discounters, they did exactly same like the pharma industry. They bought the products and they said, listen, we will not abide with your suggested RSP. So you're giving me this as 50 riyal. My discount is 50%. I'll sell this at 29. So I make 4 riyals. And they have created a segment or a channel in the market. I was yesterday having a side discussion with Nielsen IQ. And Nielsen is a known audit retail industry.
Yeah.
And they say to me, Mohammed, do we need to create a channel of discounters in the supermarkets and in the pharma industry like the discounters? I said, yes. Do you think they will prevail? I said they would if they adapted exactly same, if they adapt the same techniques, what is being followed in Europe. But if they continue just giving away margins without vision, without a goal in the head, yes, they might be flop over the years. But I think it's a very considerable channel has emerged in the Saudi market, the discounters, whether in the supermarket business or in the drugstores, cosmetics, skincare, makeup, etc., etc.
For your online business, where now 15 to 17% of the business is made revenue-wise, how do you attract customers? Do you go here in Saudi also via Google search and try to convince customers to come to your store? How does it work?
Yeah, of course. The marketing spend, it has to be wisely put in the right channels. So the Google ads and, of course, the Facebook. When I say Facebook, I mean the Instagram, the Snapchat. We spend a considerable budget on those channels to build organic growth for our stores. So we become organically in the top of the search, not like advertisement, every time advertisement. So we spend wisely. We invest with Algolia, which is a French company which helps you to find the keywords searching and reaching to...
Also key partner of Spryker, actually.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So you reach to the audiences, and we are 100% knowing our audience. When it comes to canoes, it's the family, large family. They have 4 to 6 and above family member. When it comes to whites, we're targeting young Gen Z millennials. So female when it comes to whites.
Maybe tell us a bit more about like the shopping behavior in general. So when we had the Seamless conference in Dubai, everybody was talking about Saudi and Riyadh. Here's the real deal. So it's really growing. So incomes are increasing. So it's really money spent. So streets are building. I was watching like Riyadh from the King's Tower Sky Bridge the other day, and it's you see like you can watch the city grow more or less, dependent where you go. Is it just a Riyadh thing, or is it like the same happening in Dammam or Jeddah?
At this point of time, with the Vision 2030 and also a vision of the Crown Prince to make Riyadh, I would say, a big metropolitan city we are today having a house or a population of 7 to 8 million. And in the next 10 years, I think by 2035, we would become 15 million population to 20 million. So at this point of time, the expansion.
So even more traffic.
Yeah, more traffic, but I would say wise. The public transportation, it's been running for quite a long time. Since 2012, we are building the metros and the bus networks. So I think in maybe end of next year, we will have the metro up running. So there would be a lot of, I would say, people commuting very, very smart in the city. Same like what you see in the big cities in the world, like New York or Tokyo. Yeah. So you will find a lot of people traveling in public system.
There's definitely not enough space for another 8 million cars in the city, that I can say after 2 days sitting in an Uber in the traffic and in the traffic jam. Maybe some questions on like your growth. So it's a family owned business, I guess. Whites.
It's not a family. It's a corporate business. We have shareholders, but those shareholders are businesses.
Okay.
They're not families.
And so, and the growth, when you think about like, okay, there's like organic growth because like the country is spending so much money in like, attracting, people to come in, and obviously all the people needs to spend on, beauty and healthcare. So good market to be in. Yeah. But, inorganic growth, when you can one-to-one to win market share from other providers, which you can do obviously via private labels and other strategies. So, how do you fuel it? I guess it's a cash flow positive business. It's not like a VC business where you like spend millions and millions every year and wait for the return in like 10 years. So how do you grow efficiently here?
Hey, Saudi business community is very mature. So they don't spend money. If they see business is not viable 3-5 years, they would definitely say, listen, we made a mistake, close down. Today, we are like, since 2008, we crossed 12, 13 years. We are very profitable business. And how we manage our business, we have very strict key performance indicators. So we look at our inventory stock turns, we look at the profit margins and organic growth for the existing stores. So if I grow my business 10% or 15%, and that is the result of the new stores, we're making a big mistake. So we definitely look at the growth of the store itself. If you say to me, how do you fuel this growth in a store which is 12 or 15 years? We keep developing these stores. I'll give you an example of a store we opened in 2008, and today we are almost like 2024. This store has been renovated 4 times in this period of time. Most recent is 6 or 7 months ago. And the brand itself, Whites, and the brand like Knu's, we have made a huge changes. So Whites in the 12 years, after 12 years, we have changed the whole logo, the typography, the environment of the store to be perceived as a beauty destination in the Saudi retail arena.
What do you expect is the e-commerce share when the vision is eventually achieved in 2035 in your category?
Side by side, the brick and mortar, I would say the omni-channel, they would all exist. So there is no way the brick and mortar would close. We see e-commerce is coming, and inevitably it will take a maximum share. If we are talking about 20 and less percent in the 2035, we would definitely reach 50%. I'm very, very positive about that. People spend quality time in the families in the weekend. They don't want to go out because they work 10, 12 hours. And as you mentioned about the traffic jams, they take a couple of hours to go and come back to the commuting from house to office to house. So when people stays a lot indoor in the offices, in the houses, they want really to buy things. They will not stop buying clothing or food. Food is the biggest in the chain. I'm sure, they would reach 50% before 2035.
Then my last question, obviously on the channel side
Ask
is...
Hunger Station, Delivery Hero. They will tell you how they are taking and how they are growing this German tycoon. Big in Saudi Arabia with the dark stores. They have nearly 60 stores in Riyadh only.
Who, Delivery Hero?
Yes.
And are you for ordering a Delivery Hero, for example?
I do. I order for myself food. When I'm in the office afternoon, but obviously the household or my family, they order from Delivery Hero and they order from Jahez, the local competitor brand of Delivery Hero.
Okay. One last point on the channel side for the beauty business. It kind of is obvious that you can, because the market is opening, I guess even the Saudi market opens like spas, like female spas, male spas, whatever. And we saw in Europe that Sephora or Douglas, they're moving into that area, saying, okay, let's do like a Douglas spa because it's vertically integrated. We can have like the beauty experience plus selling beauty products, which is even more enhanced like to the just retail store experience. Is this a strategy you might also following?
That's a good question. We have another business. Apart from the retail, we have a distribution company. In the distribution company, we distribute quite a lot of products and brands that sells only in the spas and the salons. What I have seen personally in the past 12 years, there is a lot of eruption and evolution in this industry. The quality of spas in Saudi Arabia has alleviated a lot. They used to be just I would say, mama store. She just an old lady and she just make a kind of face makeup and hairstyling. Today, it has gone to extra services. Nail is a big industry in Saudi Arabia. Eyelashes is a big industry within these facilities. I have seen in the past 3 years the emerging of a new concept. If you go to the Diplomatic Quarter, we have a business there known as the Core. The Core is a health club for male and female, but also they have a high quality standards spa. And a lot of my clients in the distribution channel, they have even evolved their businesses. And this is a key industry for us. And some of those partners, when I say partners, they're my clients. They have asked us to help them in their research and development to add more services. So one of them, last week I had a meeting with him. He said, Mohammed, we are just in the nail and the lashes industry. We would love to go to make face, to make massage, etc., services. I want you to investigate. I want you to do R&D for us. Help us with the headhunting. Help us with the products and also the SOPs. And our company is equipped with this kind of capabilities to help the partners.
Okay, so it's a growing business as spa business. It's not like in Germany where you have like mixed saunas, like female and male. So that's a couple of decades away.
No,
so,
it's definitely separate.
Okay,
and female, despite that they have that liberality. Okay, they don't have to put all the abayas on the snitch, but they still want to maintain privacy when it comes to health clubs and also the spas and the salons.
Got it. Very futuristic business, very interesting, and a lot of insight. Thank you for your time.